I'm grounded in compassion, centered in compassion, 'cause the most important person is me.
Well, welcome everyone back to Real Life, Real Compassion for our Saturday morning chats where we talk about real stuff that matters in our lives. This space is where we talk about the stress, the frustrations, the emotional weight we carry, but then we also talk about the growth, the moments of joy and motivation, and even, our self-awareness. We talk about those quiet shifts happening within us each and every day that, we may not even notice, but it's going on underneath the scenes. So this space is for reflection, not prescription. So you can take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Because we're not talking about perfection here. We're talking about just being human, real people, real lives, learning how to meet it all with compassion. And since it's Mother's Day this weekend, I want to say happy Mother's Day to every mother out there. Happy Mother's Day to all of us, every woman who carries so much. Don't we all? Mothers, we're mothers, we're professionals, we're caregivers, we're friends. We show up in so many different ways, so many titles, and all of that. Sometimes the genuine you can get a little quiet, not gone, just quiet. And as we begin today's discussion, I want to start by, asking a question, something real. Have you ever walked into a space and immediately, kind of felt yourself tighten up a little bit? Walked into work or even walked into church and knew exactly which version of you was expected. Perhaps, you even come back home and still feel like you couldn't fully exhale. Have you ever just entered a room already adjusting? Already, just shifting yourself before anyone said a word, changing your tone, softening your opinion, hiding your fatigue, masking even sadness, carrying the smile people are used to seeing. Don't get me wrong, this is not fake, it's not dishonest, it's just adapted. Just trying to get through the day without conflict, without feeling rejection, misunderstandings, or even disappointment. And many people know this feeling, and we know it deeply. Because sometimes we may call it being responsible. Sometimes we may call it being professional. Sometimes we call it just being strong. But beneath it all, it can also be exhaustion because there's a cost to living too long disconnected from your genuine self. You may still function, but feel flat. You may still show up, but feel distracted. You may still be surrounded by others, but feel far from yourself. Sometimes a part of us learned long ago that being fully seen didn't feel fully safe. So maybe honesty was punished, or maybe emotion was dismissed, maybe mistakes were used against you, maybe love felt conditional. So you learn something intelligent. To be smaller, be easier, be impressive, be quiet, be needed, be whatever keeps the peace. That wasn't weakness, of course not. It was actually our survival, that survival mode. I read some this week. Howard Thurman, the great theologian and spiritual thinker, used the phrase, the sound of the genuine. Now, this man is actually one of my mentors, so I know that, but it was a refresher for me. You know, what he's saying in that is that sound, the way you laugh when you're with old friends or sitting with family and all the guards are just down. And you're not trying to be anything, just being yourself. That's that sound of the genuine. And it feels so good when it happens. And I've always, loved that phrase by Howard Thurman because it takes me into this place of feeling fully nurtured. Because beneath all that coping that we do, beneath all the roles that we play, beneath all the versions of ourselves built for protection, there's still the genuine you. Still something honest, still something fully alive, still something whole. And compassion, believe it or not, can help us hear it again. In cognitively based compassion training, there's some modules 4 and 5, where we learn that compassion actually helps create inner safety. When the body feels less threatened and the mind can actually soften. In those moments, the heart can open and defensiveness can ease. I'm not just saying this. Research suggests compassion practices may support our emotional regulation, reduce stress, reactivity, and even soften that inner critic, that self-criticism that we have going on. So in everyday language, what I'm saying is this. Compassion helps you come home to yourself. And this is why self-compassion matters so much. What I'm getting at is this. Self-compassion is not making excuses. It's not passive or any of those things. It's not lowering standards. It's not self-absorption. It's choosing to meet our own humanity with honesty, with tenderness, and with kindness. Sometimes, people say, I lost myself, but often the truth is gentler than that. You didn't lose yourself. You protected yourself. And that's really wisdom in a lot of cultures and a lot of environments. And what was protected can actually be welcomed back slowly. Maybe beneath that anger is pain asking to be understood. Maybe beneath that perfectionism is fear asking to feel secure. Maybe beneath the silence is a voice waiting for safety. Compassion says, you can be your genuine self here, uniquely, wonderfully you. Whether that looks like laughter, lightness, or simply taking a quiet breath, it all belongs. And that's emotional hygiene. The truth is, we move through different spaces in our lives. And sometimes, yes, we do need to adjust. But when those moments of freedom come, when we can just be our genuine selves, I invite you to allow that to fully shine through. That's how you begin to care for yourself. And in allowing that, you begin to nurture yourself from the inside out. Yes, that's what I mean by emotional hygiene. Returning inward with care instead of criticism. Instead of trying to, always adjust and be. So maybe today, you don't need to become someone better. Maybe today, you simply need enough compassion to hear the sound of the genuine in you again. And when the genuine in me recognizes the genuine in you, compassion stops being forced. It becomes natural. So from all of us at Compassion Center, may your heart stay open, your spirit stay at peace, and may you live each day as a vessel of love, fully alive, fully free. Happy Mother's Day. See you next time.
I'm grounded in compassion, centered in compassion, 'cause the most important person is me.